easy match. And I'm like walking back up to the stands, and my dad like runs in the arena, and he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" You know, like not mad at him, nothing. In high school, I would have been like a mess.
Yeah.
You know, that was a huge thing. I always wanted my father to watch me wrestle. Like I remember, like in high school, at every match, like as soon as we get on the mat to warm up, I'm looking for my dad in the stands, and he sat in the same spot every match, and like it was almost like a comfort thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like once he was there, I was like, "All right, you know, he's here. It's good."
Yeah.
Now you got to warm up good because he's looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it was like kind of trying to impress him. So it was just so different already, like in a year. And now it's just being on my own, being a man, you know, and getting to the next level. So looking at the bracket, second round now, quarterfinals, I'm supposed to have this kid, Zimmerman, who had beat me during the year. And he gets upset. So now I have this kid who upset him. And it's just a styles thing. Like, he was real short and stocky, and the kid who wrestled was real short and stocky. And sometimes, you know, I was always longer for my weight. Sometimes the short, stocky kids were hard for me. So the kid I'm wrestling now had beaten like 14-2 during the year.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like, this kid I couldn't beat during the year loses to a kid I killed during the year. So now I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like the opposite of my senior year.
Right.
I'm like, this is going to be
It's kind
easy.
of going your way a little bit.
You know, like, my senior year, I'm wrestling a kid who I beat 11-0. I'm like, man, this is going to be a hard match. Now I'm wrestling a kid that I majored, and I'm like, this is going to be so easy. So I tech this kid, right? Quarterfinals, I tech him, I make the semifinals. So right off the bat, I'm an All-American. Top 8's All-American. You make the semifinals, you're top 6. So not only am I an All-American, I'm placing pretty high, right? So I tech this kid, and I remember my coaches not being upset, but they weren't, like, I got up, I'm an All-American, I'm thinking I'm running to my coach's hands.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like, why didn't you pin him? Because it's a team race, and my
Right.
team's in, like, 4th place right now. And I'm crushing this kid, and I, like, tilted him, like something you can't pin anybody with to get the tech. Because I just wanted to get off the mat and be an
Right.
All-American. So they're like, why didn't you pin him? And I'm like, I'm an All-American. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. So now, you know, my dad's, like, ecstatic, and we're all just so happy. And, you know, Sean Burns, I just hear him screaming through the stands and stuff. You know, it's really cool. And I'm in the semifinals. And I'm wrestling a kid who started the season for, like, 80% of the season. This kid was ranked number 1 in the country all year. He took 3rd the year before. This kid's a returning All-American, 3rd place, like, real high finisher. And not only that, our grad assistant at the time, Sheridan Moran, huge help for me. Huge reason why I was so successful my freshman year. He was like a grad assistant on the team. The year before that, he took 4th at 133. This kid beat him for 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's kind of like a redemption for my coach, you know. And Sheridan all year, like, beat the dog out of me. And, like, as the year went on, I started getting closer. And then some days I'd get him.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I kind of knew, like, all right, I am getting better, you know. And, you know, just going in, I'm wrestling this kid. I'm like, all right, you know, I'm going to beat this kid. I'm going to do it for Coach Sheridan. And I just put it on this kid, right? And this kid is ranked super high. He's a returning All-American, 3rd place. And I remember just going out there. I'm like, I'm in the semifinals. Like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And I'm just wrestling. And it's like a real close first period. And I think the kid took me down. And then I got up and I took him down. I'm like, all right, now I'm winning. It's 3-2 going into the second period, and this kid picks bottom. I'm like, it's game over because top is my best position, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm a true freshman. Not that many people really know this yet. They're just like, who's this kid making? Like, see me in the rankings all year, but no one's really seen
me wrestle.
Like, I'm all the way from South Carolina. This kid wrestles for Upper Iowa. You know, I was good at like, it's crazy. They're good Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and they always have a team that's in the mix. Like, every division, it's wild. So Upper Iowa is like a stud D2 team. And I remember this kid picked bottom, and I turned to his back, right? So it's 3-2 him. 3-2 me. He picks bottom. He thinks he's getting out. It's time match. I turn this kid right to his back. Now it makes it 6-2. Like 6-2 in a semifinal of NCAA tournament. That's match over. So I hold this kid on his back, and I put my knees in his ribs, and I'm just squeezing this kid. I'm like, I'll squeeze this kid to the period. And this kid cries out, right? He calls injury time. Now in college, in high school too, you call injury time on your back, you give up another point. Now it's 7-2. So I just remember kind of like standing up and going to my coaches, and they're like going crazy. You know, they're kind of losing it. There's like 20 seconds left in the second period. I'm up 7-2, and they're like, you know, nothing crazy. You know, you can't get caught. You can't get. This kid's gonna try to blah. And I'm just like, you know, like really in the moment. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm like 0% nervous, like 0% cautious. I'm just like in it. And I hear like Sean screaming. I hear my dad screaming. I hear all my teammates screaming. You know, up like in the arena. And third period comes, I think I pick bottom or whatever, and I get up and I take him down and something, and I'm winning. I remember I'm winning by like 7, right, and 8's a major. And I remember like me and this kid are just, a lot of it was scrambles. Like this kid was very good at scrambling, but that was like my best thing.
Right.
So like I'm beating this kid to the punch every time and then scoring. So like I'm just breaking this kid now because he's a returning 3rd place finisher. I'm a true freshman and I'm beating him in everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he called injury time like he's hurt. Like this kid doesn't want to be on the mat. And I remember there was like 30 seconds left in the match and we're neutral. And my coaches are like, get the major, you know, because they want team points. They know I'm gonna win. I'm beating this kid, you know. They're like, get the major, BJ, get the major. So I'm going after this kid. And I remember, and it was like one of the realest things that ever happened to me. I remember his coaches scream at him. And he kind of like goes to the line and looks at them. And they're like, remember, it's a team race. So they literally are telling this kid, like, you're not going to win, but don't get majored.
Right.
Because it's a team race and we want to beat them. And this kid just accepts it. And he just goes on a knee. And you've seen wrestling. You see they go on a knee and they put their hand up, and then he's kind of just a defense.
Yeah.
And I kind of take a step back and kind of just look around. There's like 28 seconds left. And I'm like, this kid's not going to do anything for the next 28 seconds. I'm about to go to the national finals.
Yeah.
Like, this kid's letting me go to, like, he's done. I broke him. And I kind of just, you know, moved in place to make it so the ref wouldn't hit, like, stop the match, you know. Just kind of moved around. And I remember the match ended and I won, and my coaches are like losing their minds, and you can only have 2 coaches in the corner. Like I had like 4 coaches on the mat going crazy, you know. I run over, me and my dad, like really emotional. It was awesome, you know, and like Sean is super pumped up, you know. Sean unfortunately was out of the tournament, he didn't place, you know. And I remember our 125-pounder took 3rd, right? I'm in a national final, so right off the bat, All-American. Our 41-pounder, my real good friend Darrell Brown, he was my practice partner every single day. Real good wrestler. I remember he's in the blood round against a really good kid. Kid had beaten him to a near. And kid locks hand, and Darrell gets out. So he's up by 2 with like 20 seconds left. And I'm like, oh my God, Darrell's about to All-American. He gets freaking taken down. Ties. Goes in overtime, loses. So he just lost a barn burner. He didn't place. And then our 84-pound, like our 65-pounder lost in the blood round. Like we had like 3 kids lose in the blood round. And then our 84-pounder returning national champ, he takes 3rd. So now there's just heavyweight left. Our heavyweight takes 7th. So like here I am, a true freshman. I'm the only guy on the team in the national finals. We have this transfer from Lehigh, big time. Kid won the Beast of East like 3 times in high school. He was like the #1 recruit at his weight in high school, went to Lehigh. Now he's at Newberry. He took 3rd. Our returning national champ, he took 3rd. You know, our heavyweight, multiple-time All-American, he took 7th. And then there's me. And now it's like kind of getting real. And I was so young, I was just having fun. You know, I remember like they clear the arena at like 2, and the national finals are at 7. And at like 5 o'clock, they do a parade of All-Americans. They call you like weight by weight. You go on the stage because they build the stage up for the All-Americans for the national finals. And they call you by your name, by represent Newberry, BJ Young. It's pretty awesome. You know, everyone then you turn left, turn to the right, turn backwards. You do a full circle. Everyone in the arena, standing ovation. And I remember then at like 6 o'clock they start to warm up. 7 o'clock you wrestle. And I remember like right before 5 o'clock I'm sitting in the stands with my friend Darrell, and he's like, you know, at the time I think he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's been there 3 years. You know, he's never seen a kid on the team do this. And he's like, do you understand what you're doing right now? And I'm like tying my shoes. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready. He's like, you're about to wrestle in the national finals, dude. Like, do you understand that? And, you know, Burns is pretty upset and stuff. And he's like, you know, like, do you know what's going on right now? And I'm just like, just so, like, happy and just having fun. I'm just like, yeah, I guess. And, you know, I go, and I wrestle a really good guy. He was a junior college, like, national champ or something. He was a redshirt senior, so the dude's like 22, I'm 18. You know, he beat me during the year, really, really close 1-point match. And it was like real close, all match, crazy scrambles. And I remember it's the 3rd period, and it was 5-2 him. And I get in on a deep single, and I sky it, you know. That's like 90% finish rate. And I get this takedown, it's about to be 5-4. You know, I cut him, one more takedown, tied. And there was like 45 seconds left in the third period. I'm in on this deep shot, and I lift his leg. And with one leg in the air, this kid reaches over, almost like a split, ankle picks me. And I fall to my butt, and he gets 2. And the ref comes in, stops the match, because like my knee was like all bent. And I remember just like rolling out of it and looking at the score. And now, instead of it being 5-4 with me on top, it's 7-2, him on top with 30 seconds left. And that's when I kind of knew, like, oh man, like, this kid's better than me.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that before.
Yeah,
I got the kid's
second this year.
Yeah, like I got this kid's leg up in a single, about to like, get in the match, and he ankle picks me. Like, this is crazy.
That doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. So then I get out. It's like 7-3, and I'm just chasing this kid. There's like 25 seconds left. He's circling. He gets hit with stalling, and I lose like 7-3, my freshman year, true freshman, national runner-up, and I wasn't, obviously I was upset I lost, but I was very happy still.
Yeah, that's a pretty good freshman year.
Yeah.
National tournament.
I finished up the year, I think, with like 34-8. So like crazy record, crazy amount of wins, and then it starts like hitting me, and I'm getting like my phone blown up. I'm getting calls from like Dewey, getting calls from the Asbury Park Press, from like the sports network, like Shore Sports, like back then it was Digital Sports.
Digital
remember?
Sports,
Yeah. And all these people are like doing. I have newspapers still, like March, 5th, 2011. It's like Young strong second, or Jackson graduate, NC runner up, like all these strong finish for Young, or Young gets it done in college, like all this stuff. And it's like finally, like, all right, maybe this was my plan. This is God's plan. You didn't get it done in high school for a reason. As crazy as it is to think, it was almost building me, getting me to mature, getting me to turn that clock. Because maybe if I did win a state title, I wouldn't have been pushed so far that I could have matured that fast.
Yeah.
And I could have got to that next level, So that's the way I looked at it. And from there, I've just been running from there ever since. My sophomore year, I come in.
Yeah, talk about that. So let's kind of fast forward a little, because I really want to get to the MMA piece. So let's talk about like your sophomore year. Once again, you were a finalist at 141.
Yeah, so I go up a weight class, feel great, not really cutting too much weight, and I'm killing it. It was a pretty crazy national tournament. I got taken down first to start every match, but like I said, like at this point in my career, I just know I just got to wrestle, and
yeah.
Not that I wasn't good on my feet, but I was definitely better on the mat. So it was almost better to get taken down quick, because then, like, obviously I want to take them down quick, but if they took me down quick, it was fine, because I was just going to reverse them and be on top and turn them, and maybe pin them. Like, first match at Nationals, the kid takes me down, I beat him 15-2. Next match, the kid takes me down, I beat him 12-5. Next match, at the semifinals, the kid takes me down, I beat him 8-2. And then I'm in the national finals, and this kid was probably the best kid I wrestled Division II in my career. He was a 2-time national qualifier for Iowa State, D1, at 149. And that's when, I don't know if you know, but Cale Sanderson used to coach at Iowa State before he got the Penn State job. So Cale Sanderson goes to Penn State. This kid leaves Iowa State. He's not getting coached by Cale anymore. He leaves. He comes back home. He's from Nebraska. He wrestles for Nebraska Kearney. So now he comes D2. They're a powerhouse D2. He's close to home. And he takes second as a junior. So he's a 3-time national qualifier. 2 of them were D1. Big 12 for Iowa State. And his junior year, he takes second. Now me and him are in the finals. The returning 133-pound national runner-up versus the returning 141-pound national runner-up. And it's a real close match. During the year, he beat me on riding time, but I came back in the third period. I scored like 4 points. So the game plan is get this kid tired, beat him in the third. And it's a real close 2-1 match. We're scrambling. This kid's getting tired, and there's like 20 seconds left in the second period, and he catches me, and before I know it, the match is over, I get pinned. And it was crushing. Like, everything was going perfect. Like, I can hear the crowd. I can hear the Newbury crowd, like, getting excitement, because they see the way the match is going. They could feel it. Like, I could feel this kid getting tired. I could feel the momentum starting to swing. It's about to go in the third period, 2-1. Like, that's anyone's match, and I'm, like, my gas tank was always my strongest weapon, so I'm like, this is my match, and then, like just like that, it's over. So I'm crushed. I'm devastated. My coach has got to get me up, and coming to my junior year, and it was a pretty bumpy year. I'm ranked all year. I'm still doing real good. And I'm just very, very sick at nationals, and I take some medicine I shouldn't have been, didn't help me, and I lose first round. I wrestle all the way back, and then I lose
round of 12.
Round of 12. I'm winning 7-2 in the first period, killing this guy. And I just feel so like I get this guy on his back, and I just feel so weak, and he gets off his back. I put him on his back again. He just gets off his back. I'm like, man, I feel like crap. And you know, I had like a bad reaction, I guess, to the medicine, and I just gas, man. Like, call injury time, and I can't get off the mat. I'm like hyperventilating on the mat, like chest convulsions. My coach was like trying to calm me down, and I waste the whole 5-minute injury time. It's third period. I have to pick bottom because I can't move. I can't even stand up, right? So the kid just cuts me, right? He runs out in front. I get one. He runs behind me. He gets two. He does that a couple times. It's 10-9. He just lays on me into the match and beats me 10-9. And that was crushing, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, the hardest part I think about that was my freshman year we took 5th in the nation. My sophomore year we took 6th in the nation. Right? Both those years I'm national runner-up. My junior year, we take 6th in the nation without me All-American. Right? That kid that beat me first round, he beat me 2-1. I gassed out against him too. I was just so sick. He makes the national finals. Right? So I should be in the national finals again. And if I All-American, if I took 8th, Newbury takes 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in the national finals like I should be, we're probably going to be national champs. So one, I feel like I'm the captain, I'm a junior. 2-time returning runner-up, I don't even place. Like I feel like I let my whole team down, right? So I'm just devastated. Not only that, I'm like, oh my God, like here we go again. Like is this, here we go again. This is my junior year of high school. I don't make states, now I don't All-American after I'm a 2-time finalist. I'm like, you know what, I'm not even going to think like that. Like screw this. It was just a crazy turn of events. It's life. Get back up on the horse.
You know, we talked about that last time I had Scotty in here. Like, everything's got to go your way. So, you know, you get sick that week. You could have got sick 2 weeks before. You could have got sick 2 weeks after. But that week of the national tournament, you get sick.
You know?
So, you lose in the round of 12. You lose in the blood round. Senior year, talk about that real quick because, like I said, we're running out of a little bit of time in here. I mean,
so, you know, senior year, I'm crushing it. I'm like, you know, D2, I'm lights out. I'm like 28-1. I got like 3 losses total because we went to the North Carolina State tournament and we went to the Virginia Tech tournament, you know, so I got like a loss at those tournaments. And it's like, I'm like, this is my year, this is my senior year, I've beaten everybody, I'm ranked like 2nd or 3rd in the country, I'm like, I'm going to crush everyone. This is my year to go out on top, put Newbury, you know, we're going to win a team and national title, I'm going to carry them to do it. And 3 days before the national tournament, a kid traps my arm in practice and Matt returns right on my shoulder, pops right out. And I remember, I felt it, and like, the 2 tendons that hold your AC joint down snapped, right? There's 2 that come down, 1 that comes across. All 3 of them snapped, and I'm like on the ground, and I feel, it was actually my collarbone. It was sticking up so high, I thought my bone broke in half. I thought it was 2 different, I thought it was 2 different pieces. I thought one piece was down and the other was sticking up. And I'm like on the ground, because I landed like on my head too, and I'm like, I broke my arm. Like I broke my arm in 2 places. And they're like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, I feel something.
Yeah.
So they take me to the doctor, and like all down my chest, my ribs, all black and blue, yellow. And they're like, you completely separated your AC joint. You know, I've been a doctor for 30 years. I've never seen it this bad. You need to do reconstructive surgery. We need to do it Monday. This is like Thursday, right? Or it's like Wednesday, and like Friday and Saturday are national qualifiers. And I'm like, Doc, I'm wrestling at this tournament. You know, he's like, I know you are, BJ, you know. I've been taking care of you the last 4 years. I know your coach very well. Like, I know how good you are. But, you know, do you really think you could win? I remember him saying those guys, do you really think you could win like this? Do you really think you could wrestle like this? I'm like, Doc, you know, no disrespect. I'm going to win like this. Because in my mind, I have no choice. It's the only option. Like, I either give up on my dreams, not be a national champ, fail again. Like I told you, like, I want to be a state champ. I want to be an NCAA champ. That's it. I don't want to take 2nd. It's great. It's unbelievable. You know, not too many people take 2nd in the nation. But I don't want that. I want to be a national champ. So I'm like, I can either give up on my dreams and be like, oh, I took 2nd the first 2 years and then I got sick and I got hurt. Yeah. I'm like, that's a crap way to end my career. I'm going to go down fighting. Whether I go 0-2 in nationals or don't even qualify, I'm still going to give it my all. So I go and I'm the first seed at region tournament. I take 4th, qualify. And I remember, you know, it's crazy how much my mindset had changed over the years because the first round matchup, now I took 4th at Versatile at 1, right? that kid is ranked, like I said, I was ranked like third all year. He's ranked second. He was when I was 28-1 in D2, he was the only kid who beat me. He's like a 3-time All-American. He's a very good wrestler. And I have him first round. And I remember, coming into the weight room and the brackets are out and everyone's kind of silent, like looking around. And I remember my coaches were like, "You seen the bracket?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, that kid doesn't want to wrestle you first round. You're a hard first round for anybody. You're a 2-time national runner-up. Nobody wants a 2-time national runner-up in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I'm like, I know. I don't care if I have one shoulder. Like, I wouldn't want to wrestle a 2-time NCAA runner-up first round of national tournament. And, I go in there with that mindset, and this kid's beating me. It's real close, though. He's beating me. He beat me during the year. He beat me pretty bad. It was like 16-10. High-scoring match, but, like, he was just got the better of me, and he was taking me down a lot. And this match is real close, and it's 4-1 going into the third period. And I remember I picked top, and I'm like, something's going to work out. Something's going to work out. And with, like, 20 seconds left, I turned this kid to win, and it was, like, huge. And then that was, like, kind of the moment I'm like, I just beat the number 2 kid in the country with one arm. Like, I might not, like, I'm going to win this, and if I don't, I'm going to get pretty close. And, I wound up taking 6th. I beat the all-time win record for my school. And I kind of just leave my legacy on a good note, even though I didn't win a national title. Like, I just All-American with one arm.
Yeah.
For the third time, I'm one of 3-time All-Americans in school history, for any sport, and all 3 of them are wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm right up there with the greatest of all time. And I got the win record, and I did it on one arm, Not only that, I placed the highest on my team. We had 2 other All-Americans. They took 8th and 7th, and I took 6th. So, it was kind of like a way to leave my legacy, because it was like not just about winning an All-American. It was like how you did it and
the way you did it.
The way you did it and what made you do it. Like, here's a kid who, always did extra, always did what he was supposed to do, worked hard, always did the right things. And this is why, when stuff doesn't go right, he still succeeds.
Right.
And for a lot of the younger kids, it kind of opened their eyes, because I was always the guy preaching out of practicing. You guys got to stop partying. You got to start doing this. We're never going to win a national title as a team if half of us are doing this and half of us are doing this.
Yeah.
And after a while, kids don't want to hear that, especially in college. They want to have fun.
They want to do the thing.
They want to have fun. They want to, we're here to wrestle. And D2 is a weird division, because half the kids are like, I'm here to be the best I am, and the other half are like, dude, it's not D1.
Want to do the college thing.
Yeah, like, we didn't go D1 for a reason, man. We left D1. We transferred out of D1. Leave us alone.
So part of that senior year, like, you always knew you wanted to do the MMA thing, right, from a pretty young age?
Since I was really, really young.
So part of that senior year, like, a fight team out of Florida gets wind that you want to do it, and they're starting to try to recruit you. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so there was this guy, and he was with, like, Guardian, like, sports management, and they worked with, like, American Top Team. And my junior year, some of the fighters from American Top Team came up to the Newberry camp. And, like I said, we were, like, the best team in the South, so this guy wanted to get his guys better wrestling. And he heard about our camp. He came up and he asked our coach, and he's like, "Is there any guys they can work with?" And my coach knew I wanted to fight, so he's like, "Yeah, they'll work with BJ." So he's like, "BJ, go wrestle. Show these fighters what wrestling is." So I'm throwing these guys around. They don't know how to wrestle. And then the guy starts talking to me, and I tell him I want to fight. And then he finds out, like, my accolades in wrestling. He's like all over me. And this guy, like, doesn't really understand how NCAA works. And I'm like, I can't sign anything. We'll forfeit my amateurism. Yeah. Like, I'll talk to you after the season, man.
Yeah.
And this guy's just on me nonstop. And, there was a UFC Orlando. Edson Barboza was a teammate at the time. He was on Frankie Edgar's team. They were down in Orlando. My family lives in Orlando. So we had, like, a break. It was like, I don't even know what break it was, but I wasn't going to drive all the way to New Jersey. It's too long. So I drove to Florida to see my family. And it just so happens that guy was there. His guy was fighting. He talked to Frankie, and he's like, telling Frankie he's a fan of New Jersey, and he loves Jersey wrestlers. And Frankie's like, "Who do you know from Jersey? Like, you're some random dude from Florida." And he says that he signed me. He's like, "I signed BJ Young." So Frankie's like, "What?" So Frankie kind of does some research and calls Steve Rivera, the coach of Elite Wrestling, who, me and Frankie both wrestled through Elite. He's like, did BJ sign to fight with some guy? And Steve calls me, and I'm like, "Steve, no, I didn't sign with no guy. Like, I told this guy I couldn't even talk to him after the season."
Right.
So he kind of shot himself in the foot. So then Steve's like, "BJ, call Frankie right now." So, I always knew who Frankie was. He was a huge idol. When Goody, and Rutgers was talking to me a little bit for wrestling, Frankie was on the team.
Yeah.
Frankie was a coach. Coaching. He was recruiting. So, like, I knew Frankie through Elite. And Frankie was recruiting me a little bit at the BCIT East. I remember talking to Frankie my junior year at the BCIT East about going to Rutgers. And so then Frankie's like, "What's up, man? Come meet me." So that's the first time I got Frankie Edgar's number. You know, I'm a college senior. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
My whole thing was, I don't care if I go D2, wherever. I want to do good enough in wrestling that a big team wants me.
Mm-hmm.
And if it could be Frankie Edgar's out of Jersey, out of my hometown, like this, it can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Come back home, be with all my friends, my family, and fight. So I do that, and Frankie's like, meet me here. So I don't really know what I'm walking to. I go into this hotel, and there's Frankie Edgar in the middle of it. And he's all sweaty, he just got done working out. And there's like 20 paparazzi people around him. And I walk up to him, and he like gives me 5, whatever, and he's like, just don't worry about them, let's walk. So we're walking like to this hotel room, he's talking to me, he's like, you had a great career, blah, blah, blah. How are you feeling? I heard you got hurt. I show him my shoulder, he's like, oh, that's crazy, great job. And we go up to the room, there's all the coaches, and he's introducing me to everyone. He's like, this is BJ Young, he's going to be on our team when he gets done with school. So then I'm like, all right, that's that. I don't talk to the guy ever again,
Mm-hmm.
And I come back, I graduate, I come home, and I just start training with Frankie ever since. And then, that was 2015, and it's pretty crazy because I got the surgery on my shoulder. After my senior year, I got the surgery, and about 2 weeks later, I got staph infection. Got really sick, lost like 20 pounds. They had to take it all out, do like emergency surgery, so I got 2 surgeries on the shoulder. And it's still not fixed because they just had to redo the first surgery, so they never fixed it. They're like, come back in 6 months and we'll fix it. And I'm like, I'll be in Jersey, I'm graduating, I'm not coming all the way back down here. So when I first started training with them, it was like fresh off my injury of the second surgery, just trying to heal. To get to my broken shoulder, And they told me like 6 to 9 months before we could start doing anything. And exactly a year to the day from my surgery to my first amateur fight, on the day, September 12, 14 to September 12, 15 was my first amateur fight. And Frankie quartered me, I choked the guy out in like 54 seconds. And then I just went on a roll. I fought 4 weeks later. So like, once I started training, I trained for like 6 months. Then I fought, and within like 5 months, I fought 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like 3-0 like that.
That's kind of unheard of, right? Fighting that much that fast.
So when you're an amateur, you have to, in New Jersey to become pro, you have to have at least 3 amateur wins. So in like 5 months, I'm 3-0. So I'm like, that's it, I'm going pro. Frankie's like, slow down, dude. Like, you just started. And at the time, I'm like 22, because I graduated college at 21. I'm young, I didn't redshirt. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I want to just go pro, I want to go pro. So then, like, you need to get better. And I'm like, I'm a 3-time All-American. Like, let me just go take somebody down. And then I kind of had to learn the game,
Yeah.
There's so many aspects to this sport. It's constantly evolving. So I wound up being 7-0 amateur. They made me do 4 more. And, a couple of times there, I'm like, all right, am I ready now? And then they're like, oh, 1 more. And I go beat the guy. And then they're like, 1 more. And I beat the guy. And I'm like finishing these dudes. And I won 4 amateur belts. And I was actually the number 1 amateur at my weight, number 1 featherweight in the East Coast. I was like number 1 at like 470. So I'm like, dude, I gotta go pro now. So then finally I go pro. For CFFC, I signed a 4-fight deal with them. And, I go on a little roll. And now I'm here, man.
This fight you have coming up on December 14th, is it your 4th fight with them? You said
it's my 4th fight with them because they went away for a little bit. I fought for a different organization, but now I'm back with them.
Okay. Talk a little bit. So right now you're in like fight camp, right?
Yeah.
So about 8 to 9 weeks out, you guys start your training for camp. So talk a little bit about what goes on during those like 8 to 10 weeks before your fight, where it's probably changes up a little bit than when you're just kind of training in the off season.
Yeah. So we're constantly training, right? Especially our team. That's why we have so much success. Not a lot, but some fighters only fight when they're in a camp. So we always stay ready. So if there's ever a short notice fight, like they call you up, hey, you want to go? Yeah, because you're already in shape. But in fight camp, we basically focus on our opponent if you want to do that, and it's just more focused. Like, all right, maybe last fight you got in a couple dangerous situations in jiu-jitsu. So this fight camp, we're gonna fix up on, really touch up on our jiu-jitsu. Or last fight the guy was a grappler. This fight the guy's a striker. So this fight we got to sharpen up all our striking, make sure all our basics are good. Like, it's just basically like pre-designed workouts leading up to that fight for that fight specific reason.
Right. When you go to Atlantic City, so your fight's on Friday night. Like, when will you arrive?
Yeah. So the fight's on the fight's on Friday. Weigh-in's Thursday. I get there Wednesday night.
So you get there Wednesday night.
Yep.
And will you still train Wednesday, Thursday, or
mostly make weight?
Mostly make weight. So it's like a run kind of thing, stuff like that.
Hit some pads, stay sharp. Nothing crazy.
So, they consider you, a pro right now. You are a pro, and you call that CFFC like a regional company, right? Regional company. So talk a little bit, because this is always something I was interested in. Like, that's what you do for work. That's your job. You're a fighter.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about like the money piece. How do you guys earn money? And we don't need to know dollars and cents, but talk a little bit about that, because I think that's something interesting for people, because they really don't know. They're like, are you working a 9 to 5 and then going to the gym at night? Are you training all day? Like, so talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so it is my job, but I have other jobs. I have a lot of other jobs, so I'm grinding right now, right? So since I came out of college, I've been grinding. I was doing privates forever. I still do privates now, but when I was an amateur, I was doing privates. So I also coach, right? I coach at Jackson. I coach at Elite, right? So I'm getting paid both those jobs. And then I work for Eat Clean Bro. So Eat Clean Bro is a meal prep company. They're probably my biggest sponsor, right? Since before my first fight, they sponsored me. They started giving me food. And as I was an amateur, Jamie Giovanazzo, the owner of Eat Clean Bro, I got real close with him, and his wife actually went to Jackson, Kayla Collins. She was my sister's age, Sean Burns' age. She married Jamie. She had known me from wrestling. So that's kind of how I got in with them. And they were like, asked me one day to fill in because they knew I was an amateur fighter. I had free time. They were short a driver. So I drove for them. And I found that it was pretty good money. So when I was an amateur, I found out that their full-time drivers make like $30,000 a year. I'm like, man, at the time, this was years ago, now they make way more. Because, they got the Eat Clean Bro blew up. They're driving way more than they used to, way more days. But I was like, all right. So, and it was only, at that time, it was making that money driving 3 days a week. So I was like, man,
this fits my schedule.
I could train in the morning. The driving was like 12 to 10, so it was long shifts. And I was going to like Brooklyn, all over. Driving, it was like a refrigerated van delivering people's meals like up and down the stairs in Brooklyn all day. But I was like, man, I could train in the morning, then drive these days. And the days that I don't drive, I could train all day. So I did that all through my amateur career. And then I was doing my privates and coaching. So I was making pretty good money as an amateur. And then I turned pro, I cut back. And I started working 1 day a week driving. Then after my last fight, I switched and I stopped driving. It was just getting too much being a pro. And now I work in the office. So like my typical schedule, I'm pretty busy. So like I'll just go through my week for you. So like Monday, I wake up Monday, I go to strength and conditioning at Bulldogs in Freehold, 8 to 9 a.m. Right, do a workout. I get in the car, I drive to jiu-jitsu in Robbinsville, 9:30 to like 11:30. Then I come home, like 11:30, I get home in Jackson around like 12, right? 1:30, I'm at the high school, coaching. I coach from 1:30 to about 4:30. I drive to Eat Clean Bro. I work in the office from 5 to 9, doing pickups. People come there, they get their food, I go and hand them their food. Right, so from 8 to 9 on Monday, I'm packed. Tuesday,
8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, sorry, 8 a.m. Tuesday, I wake up, 9:30, I'm sparring at Ricardo's in Robbinsville. 9:30 to like 10:30, 11. Come home, shower, eat, shoot over to Freehold, Matt Strout, Relentless Boxing. I do mitts with him from like 12, 12:30.
So Matt's like your striking coach.
Yup, right. Then from there, I drive home, I shower, I eat. From 1:30 to 9, I work at Eat Clean Bro. So again, Tuesday, 8 a.m., 9 p.m., I'm booked. Wednesday, it's kind of an easy day. I wake up. From like 9:30 to 10, I work with Nick Catone at Nick Catone MMA in Brick. He works with me one-on-one pads. Then from, like 10 to 11:30, we have a team practice. I do the team practice. Then that ends at 11:30. From 11:30 to 12:30, I coach at Nick Catone's. I teach a class there. Then I come home. It's about 1 o'clock. I eat something. I go to Jackson from like 1 to 5. And I come home Wednesday at like 5 or 6, I'm done for the day. So that's
like a half day for you.
That's like my easy day. So then Thursday, I wake up, I go to strength conditioning in the morning, like 9 to 10 at Bulldogs. Then I come home, I get like a little break. From 12 to 1, I do striking at Relentless. Then I come home at 1 o'clock, I go to Jackson practice from like 1 to 5, and then I come home. And I don't really go home. Right from there, I go to Elite in Jackson, and I teach at Elite from 6 to 9 p.m. Teach wrestling there to the club. Then I come home. Then Friday, I do strength and conditioning in the morning. Then shoot over to Ricardo Almeida's from 8 to 9. Do strength conditioning, 9:30 to like 11:30 at Ricardo Almeida's. And I come home Friday from like 12 to 1:30. I'm chilling. Then 1:30, I'm at the high school.
So you do like 12-hour days basically every day.
Yeah.
So you're hustling a little bit.
And
I think
yeah.
sometimes they think, oh, he just goes to the gym for a couple hours in the morning and wrestles and punches
Yeah.
a couple things and then he goes home. But that's kind of really not
That's
the
the
case with
goal.
most of-
That's the goal.
That's
If
the goal
if
one
I'm
day.
like a big time UFC name, that's what I do.
That's the goal with that thing. Let's call this too. You're practicing with some of the best guys in the world.
Yeah, awesome,
probably,
awesome
right? With
teammates.
your team. So a little bit with this fight coming up in 2 weeks. Who's going to corner you when you go to the fight?
Yeah, so it's gonna be Matt Strout. So Strout's like my striking coach, but he's also kind of like a life coach. Like, the other guys, it's kind of a hard situation because they're also competing. Like Frankie's, world level. He's constantly up for a title fight. Marlon Moraes corners me a lot. He's constantly up for a title fight. So they got to worry about their own careers too. So they corner me, which is huge. Like most up and coming fighters don't have the big time names corner them. They just have a coach. So, right from the beginning, Strout, I reached out to him. He's a Jackson guy. He knew me from wrestling. He's like, let's get this done. We worked together. We became really, really close. He comes with me early to the fights. He does the weigh-in with me. He does all that with me. We eat after all that. He warms me up before the fight. And then, Frankie Edgar comes. He comes with Marlon. He comes with Nick Catone. And then we're all in the locker room warming up for the fight, and it starts to get real. And they go out and corner me. So, it's going to be Strout, it's going to be Frankie Edgar, and it's going to be Nick Catone because they only allow 3. But Marlon's always there. Sometimes they'll switch out. Sometimes Nick can't do it. Marlon can. Sometimes Frankie can't. Marlon can. But Strout's been with me every single time. And I love my team. I love my coaches. It's a perfect mesh. So
that's great. So listen, here's the only deal I have with you bringing you in. When you do make it big and you're fighting UFC and BJ's name's up in big lights, you still got to come in and do the show once a year.
Oh,
deal?
100%.
BJ,
100%.
good luck this week. December 14th, Borgata Hotel and Casino, BJ Young, CFFC, Cage Fury Fighting Championships. BJ, good luck on December 14th.
Thank you, man. It was awesome. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. All right.